Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Sessions with Kat. It's been a minute. So this video is just chock full of updates. I'm gonna try to go through these cards here on the table while I talk. Hopefully it'll help keep me distracted, kind of, I guess. So, a lot has changed since the last video. So the last video, I believe, I told you guys that COVID hit my home. It didn't hit me. It hit my housemates. And the one I mentioned in the video passed away from COVID. So forgive me if I, break down a little bit because we're talking about it. Well, not that exactly. I'm just giving you guys some updates. So that's update number one. My best friend and housemate did not, survive COVID. He went peacefully. And, just now dealing with the aftermath of it all, which is part of the updates that I need to go through. So, that being said, anything I say in this video, my opinions are my own. You can have yours. You're entitled to yours. Don't come after me because, don't try me, try your mama. The other thing too is if you guys are one of those type of viewers who pays attention to my nails, please don't. I have not gotten them done since he passed because I have been busy with the updates that I'm getting ready to tell you guys about. So don't come for me in the comments because I promise you, like, I'm joking, but like I'm not in the mood. So just kind of, bear with me here. So you guys got update number one. COVID. He had that latest variant. And that particular variant is a bitch. In the way that it moves throughout the body. So here we are. So this deck is the Melanade Stands Tarot, and this is the creator here. It is an indie deck. I believe you can only order it from her. I don't know if she still has copies, but if you pause the video here, this is her info. I'll also put it in the description box if you're interested in this deck. That being said, let's get into it. So here's what I have to say about COVID. Again, these opinions are my own. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not forcing anyone to agree with me. It is what it is. This deck is not in order because I do use it. Okay. And I'm going to zoom in so you guys can actually see the fucking cards. Because per this monitor, you really can't see them. So, also forgive the noise in the background. I am washing clothes and my washer is really loud despite being on the other side of the house. So, update number two. I am moving. Okay. I am moving out of the state temporarily. Okay. This is a temporary move. At least that's what Spirit said to begin with. Spirit can change their mind and lead me somewhere else. However, I'm kind of treating it like a extended vacation. Because I need one. Grief is a lot to deal with on top of moving. And also on top of having to take care of arrangements. So like, trying to continue working, and, so that I can pay for everything because, well, it all has to come out of pocket. I'm grateful that, he asked to be cremated. But, that's a whole nother thing, but I'm grateful because it allows me to save up a little bit quicker. You know, let's just say like bringing the income a little bit quicker versus paying for an actual funeral. The other thing is with the moving, you know, I do plan to be back. But as of right now, you know, readings are on hold. I am still working at Illuminate Your Spirit in Livonia. Only the 2 to 3 days that I'm there. Until February 10th, whatever that Thursday is, the second week of February. I believe it's the 10th. After that, I will be leaving. And I won't be back up north for quite some time. Not like a super long time. We're not talking like years. We're talking like a series of months. I need the vacation. I need the peace. I need to be able to grieve. And in order to do that, I have to halt some things. So the readings are going to also be on hold. This is update number 3. Readings are on hold until I become settled where I am. And I'll let you guys know. I'm not going to keep you in the dark, but as of right now, readings are on hold. Let me see. Let's go back to the COVID thing because I got to get this off my chest. I don't care if you're vaccinated or not, okay? And slight side note, I am neither for nor against vaccinations. I need you guys to understand that. I don't care what you do. That's your business, not mine. I am simply an advocate of being safe. And with this virus, it doesn't care if you're vaccinated or not. What I've seen, and at least with the people that I've done remote Reiki on who've had the virus, what matters is if you have any underlying conditions that affect organs with this latest variant. The previous variant, it just didn't fucking matter. It was kind of like the flu. This variant, while it does mimic flu and cold, it really goes for the organs. So if you have any underlying issues with any organs or even like your intestines and things like all of that, that is really what you want to be mindful of. So if you haven't gotten a checkup, go fucking get one, okay? For those of you who don't use modern medicine, that's your business. I will say this, as a shaman and as a shamanic practitioner, as a herbalist, as someone who uses natural medicine for themselves, I am an advocate for both natural medicine and modern medicine. You know, there are some things that natural medicine really can't just cure, at least not that we've discovered fully yet, if that makes sense. So be mindful, take care of your body, stay safe. I myself am an introvert, so being in the house is a nice thing, right? Because COVID's not in my house. But when I am out, okay, out of respect for myself and for others, and truth be told, I kind of like wearing a mask because, well, my facial expressions sometimes, and I like wearing a mask. I wear my mask. You don't have to wear yours. I am simply asking you to be safe. I'm not saying get the vaccination. I'm not saying get the boosters. I'm not saying don't get them. I am simply saying do what you need to do for you to keep yourself safe and, you know, have a good defense against the damaging effects of COVID. I'll say it that way. So that's all I have to say about COVID. You know, you can take that information as you choose and deal with that, okay? So update number 1 was about my housemate, roommate, whatever you want to call him, my best friend. That's who he was to me. Update number 2 is update number 2 is I'm moving, and update number 3 is readings are on hold. However, um, energy healings, the shamanic energy healings, both mini and full sessions, are remote only. Okay, so I'm not doing anything in person, and this leads to the next update. So my office is closing because of me having to move. There's no way I'm not gonna travel that far for an in-person visit. So when I do open up readings or the counseling sessions or anything like that, they will be remote. If you're not local to where I'm going, they will be remote. I will be using Zoom. I can also use Google Duo. If you have an iPhone, we can FaceTime. But as of right now, I'm only doing energy healings, as I can safely do those in the midst of packing. I cannot do a reading in the midst of packing because most of my decks are packed up. Actually, all but like 2 or 3 of them are packed up. So, and depending on who I'm reading determines what deck I use. So it's really difficult to do readings right now like that, and I don't have my decks out. So, you know, if you guys have questions outside of where I'm moving to, if you follow me on Instagram, or if we're friends on Facebook and you happen to be there, I will post where I'm going when I get there. Okay, I'm not posting it until I get there and get myself situated. As of right now, just know I'm moving out of the state. And considering that I live in Michigan, this will be fantastic for me to move out of the state, because I'm praying for better weather, because I don't like being cold. Okay. So let's see. I told you guys about my roommate. I'm talking all out here, you guys. I'm trying to make sure I get everything out. Me moving, readings on hold, the Reiki's still there. I did put the walking home barefoot and the self-commitment ceremonies on hold. I am revamping the program for walking home barefoot, with all of the changes that I've had occur since the 13th, which is when he passed. I have realized that a lot of it is tied to my program, and I want to be able to use these tools, use these experiences to cater the shift the program to be a lot more deeper than maybe what I'm thinking it is. Like in Spirit's world, the program is as deep as it needs to be per the person. This is why I don't have like a set plan for each person, because each person is different. Each soul operates differently. However, I want to be able to incorporate these lessons that I've learned over the past 2 weeks into the program for those who might need it. And I need time to reflect on that. So that's why I put them on hold. That being said, I'm not, I've already raised prices. I don't know if any of you guys noticed, but I'm not raising prices again for quite some time, mainly because it really depends on how Spirit wants me to move with it. Let's see. I think that's like the main updates. I didn't really even get through this deck because I've been trying to figure out if I told you guys everything. So yeah, so if you do follow me on Instagram or even friends on Facebook, then you already know about my best friend. But to give you guys some context, because I think I gave you guys all the updates you needed to have. So he and I were friends for 10 years, and like the absolute best of friends. And being roommates for that long, you get used to a certain energy in your home. You get used to a certain way of life, and things abruptly changed when he passed Thursday morning. Well, that Thursday morning. And I quickly learned, you know, that, and through this whole process, I've learned, you know, who's really in my corner and who isn't. I've learned, you know, more about comfort zones than I ever needed to learn in my lifetime. So remember, I am human. I might be a shaman, but I am human. We are all human. We all have lessons to learn. I've also learned that, you know, there's a reason that, you know, that he told me to rehome the dog if anything ever happened to him, because that, okay, so if you know about my dog, Dave is a whole mood, okay? Dave is half pit, half boxer, and he was born in the month of June under the sign of Cancer, so he is a whole mood, okay? And Dave has this thing where he wouldn't listen to him, but he gravitated toward him. But he listened to me because I was alpha, okay? However, when he passed and Dave figured it out, he, you know, he would become aggressive if you touched his things. If you move, even if you just moved his chair out of the way to vacuum, he became aggressive. So he had to be rehomed because I didn't want him crated 24/7. I didn't want him, because, you know, he was becoming aggressive if you touched anything. So I didn't want that fear with having to move and having to pack everything up and put things in storage and work and whatnot. I didn't want him to be by himself because he's used to someone being home, and now it was just me. And he had to be rehomed for his sanity, for his peace, for his, you know, continued development, because, you know, dogs need that. And Dave was a whole person. He was a whole mood. Dave thought he was a person. And he's safely put with my best friend and her husband, and I couldn't be happier with where he is. So that leaves me to clean up the aftermath here. And it got weird after I realized everyone was out of the home except me. So I have been dealing with all of that energy. And the crazy part is that I can feel him around. And being a psychic medium, you know, having that capability, it doesn't make grief easier. Contrary to popular belief there. Just because you can sense a person around or even see them, because I can see him from time to time, it doesn't make this shit easier. I'm not gonna fucking lie. It does not make this easier. It actually makes it harder, because you can no longer, it makes it harder because when you don't, like, when you're not able to tune into a person's energy or anything, you can easily, like, it makes it easier to let go of the physical body of the person, right? So the first stage of grieving usually is tied to the physical body of the person. So when someone like me, who can sense the spirit, who can see the spirit, who can hear the spirit, that first stage is rough, because I can still see, but I cannot touch. So it makes it a little more difficult to move past grieving the body of a person, because in my mind, if I can see it, I should be able to touch it, if that makes sense. So this whole process has been a journey, and, you know, each moment is different. You know, I try not to break down, but I do break down. I've had, you know, plenty of people checking up on me. I've had plenty of people, you know, being that it's Mercury retrograde, so, like, remember that. So this will help you all here. When, you know, people find out that, you know, I've lost my housemate, who they were always intimidated by. It's, oh, do you need comforting? Are you lonely? No, I'm not lonely. I don't need your comfort because I know what you're doing, right? So there's that. And then I've had friends who are not really friends. This showed me a lot, right? And then I've had, you know, plenty of his friends and family, and some of my own friends. They don't necessarily care about the fact that he's gone. They more so want things of his, and most people don't understand it's really difficult to part with something that has its energy tied to it. So I'm not parting with a lot of things, or I will allow it to go with, say, his family versus a friend, or I will gladly donate it because that's what he would have wanted. So I have come across a number of beings who have came at me with that kind of energy. Now, understand, this doesn't make them bad people. I don't look at them like that. A lot of times people just see something. It's kind of like when you walk in the store, you see something, you're like, oh, I want that. I can remember that about people, that's just how, you know, our brains and our minds work. So this doesn't make them bad people. It's just that learning, you know, they don't see the boundary they crossed, and, you know, having to tell them or having to, you know, put them in their place, that's their lesson, not mine, right? And that's a big thing I've learned. I've also learned that, and I hate this, people like to baby me. I don't understand that shit. I'm a grown-ass woman. Like, and I apologize if I'm talking low. It's just, you know, like, I'm a grown-ass woman. Like, don't baby me. I know I have, you know, some health issues of my own, but that doesn't stop me from doing certain things. Like, I don't need to be 100% taken care of, if that makes sense. Like, I like this devil card, FYI. Like, I hate when people baby me and try to pacify me. If everybody's like, oh, here's this and here's the, I don't want to be pacified. Just let me cry. Let me be. I think that's how most people are. You don't want to be pacified. You just want to be able to break. And you can tell who you can safely break around versus who you can't. And that's always like the hardest thing, is because it doesn't make that person less of a friend or less of a family member if you can't break around them. It just means that, you know, there's just a boundary there, and it might be to your favor, it might not be, where that safety measure or that sense of peace isn't found, like at that level isn't found with that person. So it makes it hard for you to want to break. And that kind of goes to why I'm moving. Not only because, well, where I live, I can't afford to live here on my own. I also don't want another roommate, if that makes sense. I don't want to have to go through this situation again. Not right now, anyway. But, you know, like, I don't really know how to describe that. Like, it's just that. I guess, if that means, like, I need a safe space to break. And the only person I've ever been able to break around was my best friend. And he was able to break around me, if that makes sense. Like, we made it a safe space. And if you don't have a safe space to do that, I hope you find one. And not necessarily in a person, but an actual space where you can break if you need to and put yourself back together, or, you know, find support to put yourself back together. I pray you find it if you don't have it. And if you do have it, I want to say that, I wanted to make sure I said that right. If you do have that type of space, cherish it. Okay, do not take it for granted. And understand that, you know, if it's with a person, make sure you're a safe space for them as well. Okay, because everybody needs that kind of support, right? we need to be able to break and come back together. And I think that, you know, a lot of that ties to the book that I had to put down in this whole grieving space. I don't know if it'll be kind of blurry, but this is the book I was reading. This book talks about being able to break with your friends or family. And you need that space, right? Like, if you know me, I am not a touchy-feely person. Like, don't hug me unless I extend for it. I mean, some people ask me for a hug and it's like, okay, let's be awkward, right? But during this whole situation, I guess is for lack of a better word, between moving and, you know, working to pay for cremation and working and packing and everything above, and I just needed a hug, if that makes sense. And I remember I called my mom, right? And I know, you know, a lot of you are like, what? I'm like, yeah, I did. I called my mom. And I called my mom and I'm like, Ma, I just need a hug. And she goes, okay. She said, well, we gonna get you that hug. And I said, okay. And she was like, and then like a couple days later, she's like, you know how I know that this is heavy on you? I said, why? How is that? She said, because you wanted physical touch. You're not a physical touch person. And I thought about it, like, it really hit me. I was just like, oh, that's how people know when I need to break, when I ask for a hug, when I'm like really heavy. And know yourself enough when to ask for that, right? Ask for that space, ask for that comfort or whatever you need to do. So this journey, the situation has taught me a lot about myself and what's going on around me that I may have missed, right? Because sometimes we're not always paying attention because you go, oh, Spirit got me, but no, you know, Spirit got you, but you got to pay attention too because there's lessons in there. So I am thoroughly grateful for the lessons and everything that came from this situation. I am grateful for friends, for family, everyone helping me. You know, even the unsolicited hugs, the unsolicited advice, you know, I take it all into consideration, take what I need and throw the rest away because that's just how it is. You don't have to take every bit of what someone says and hold it for truth. You take the part that you need, and your soul will let you know which part of that you need, and then throw the rest away. So I'm grateful for that. Like, you know, I'm grateful to my neighbors for helping me with everything, and to all of you and your support. If you've known before I posted this vehicle, look at me, because I just heard one start up. Have you heard before I post this video about my best friend? I'm grateful for all of you and your support and checking on me. Some of you know, like, I'm typically the type of person that needs to be left alone so that I can get through it. But because of how the situation unfolded itself and the aftermath of it, I need to be checked on, if that makes sense. Not that, you know, I'm a needy person or whatever. It's just that, you know, I finally got my appetite back. So if you know, I'm vegan, but, you know, I need calories too, just like you guys. And so with the grief and with the constant trying to get things packed and get things moved and move things into storage and this, that, and the third, eating has not been a priority, especially for someone who has an eating disorder. So I finally got an appetite back, and yesterday I finally had 2 meals. Prior to that, I was just like snacking here and there. I don't even think it added up to 1 meal because there was absolutely no nutrition, like no full nutrition in what I ate. So I actually got back to eating 2 meals. That is a plus for me. So, like, you know, that was yesterday. We'll see what happens today, right? And yeah, like, you know, if you want to check on me, you can check on me. It's okay. Send me a message or send me an email or whatever. I mean, my contact information is in the description box. You know, it's okay to check up on me. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to feel like, oh my God, all these people are bothering me. I know I'm an introvert, but in this current moment, I can't be so introverted that I block everyone out, especially when they're showing concern. Who am I to take that away from anybody? So, all that being said, and I'm pretty sure this video is long as fuck and so chaotic because that's how my brain is right now. Please take care of yourself. Please, right? I thoroughly urge that, okay? If anything, you know, please take care of yourself. If you need someone to talk to, don't be afraid to reach out, to look for help. I can do those kind of sessions, but it's going to be really on an as-needed basis. Mainly because, you know, no one should have to go through any type of mental or emotional setback alone. Okay, that's just me. That's just me. That's just the way I am. Stay hydrated. Okay, water is a thing. Okay, granted, you know, the world is trying to cave in on itself, but please stay hydrated. Okay, at least you'll have glowing skin. Make sure you're eating. Okay. Like I said, me, myself, I have been working towards eating because, you know, you don't want your blood sugar dropping. You don't want to be hospitalized because your nutrient levels are low. You know, eat something, and eat something that's good for your body and your soul and your mind, and, you know, brings you a little bit of peace. Okay. When I say take care of yourself, make sure you're taking care of yourself on a physical level as well. We don't need anybody else sick. I don't want anybody else sick, right? On any level, on any degree, with anything, right? That includes COVID, it includes the flu, it includes a cold. Take care of yourself, please, and thank you. And then, you know, I'll keep you guys posted on everything, right? So that you guys are aware of, you know, how things are shifting and where I'm eventually going to end up. And I apologize for going so slow through these cards. Again, my brain is kind of mush when it comes to certain things. Like, you know, with energy healing, I can focus because it's a meditation and it's so easy for me to, like, it's not really a meditation, but it's easy for me to get into that, that thought process. But, you know, trying to get thoughts out into words, it's my brain's like, what are words, right? So forgive me if this video seems chaotic. I just wanted to give you all an update on everything that's been happening for the past 2 weeks now, and trying to take care of everything and before I, you know, move, and figure out where I'm going to get settled and so on and so forth. So please bear with me through all of these changes, because change is necessary, right? Change is neither good nor bad. It is just necessary. You don't need to be in a comfort zone, right? You don't need to live in a comfort zone because nothing really grows there, right? You just end up creating an environment in which you cannot breathe after a time. So just be mindful of that. So I'm gonna make sure I get to the last card before I turn this video off. How y'all doing? I done sat here and talked about my fucking self and didn't even ask how y'all doing, right? Comment below. Tell me how you doing. I want to know. I really do want to know. So if you watch this video, you better fucking comment since y'all don't want to like it, all right? You know, comment. I want to know how y'all doing, how y'all holding up with this whole pandemic and, you know, inflation and all this other shit. You know, talk to me. Tell me how you doing. If you don't want to leave a comment, send me a message if you follow me on Instagram, or send me an email, or if you're one of the lucky people to have my phone number, you can text me. Or if you're on Facebook, you can, and you can find me. You can send me a message. I usually see it. And this is the last card, which makes sense for everything that's getting ready to shift here in my life. And I pray that the shifts that are happening in your life, you find the power within to withstand, to gather the strength and the mental stability, the emotional stability, and anything else you need to walk through that fire. Okay, knowing that you don't get burnt, you simply learn new ways of putting out the fire, right? And at the core, not necessarily the surface, but at the core, because when you're doing shadow work, you're preventing yourself from repeating that mistake. So you're learning the core, right? You're digging up the roots of it. And I pray you mean business when you go in there to do that type of work, and you see it all the way through. All right. So that being said, I will try to give an update next week. I make no promises. You probably won't get an update until I have moved. I'm pretty sure I'll make an update when I actually get to where I'm going. Just so you guys can kind of experience it with me, because I don't want to leave you guys out, right? You guys have been following me for this long. We like family here, okay? So, keeping that in mind, I wish you all the brightest of blessings. Stay hydrated, stay humble, stay safe. Bye.